breaking into the industry, so breaking into IT, breaking into cybersecurity, and the role that certifications play in this. I think it's misunderstood, but I also think we put value in the wrong things when we talk about. When I say we, I mean like training industry, uh, colleges, and just society as a whole puts a lot of value for some reason in credentials, right? Like it's almost like the norm that you got to go and get this bachelor's degree, you got to go and get this degree before you can even start in the field. And I'm here to tell you that that is not true. It is not true. Now, does a degree help? Do certifications help? And I'll talk about certifications. Yes, they can, because let's say you're being compared as a candidate to someone else, and y'all are all else is equal, and you have credentials and they don't. That's like one additional benefit or advantage that you might have, right? But that's not everything. The most important thing I can tell you without a question, and this is my 10 years in the field, is that your skill set is what matters most. If you've known me for a little while, you know that's what I say all the time. And the thing that I repeat over and over again is skills pay the bills, people. I can go get all the best cybersecurity certifications, but when that issue is in front of me, or I'll say IT in general certification, but when that issue or that problem or that box or whatever it is in front of me, I cannot take that certification and throw it at the problem, right? And it fixes it. These certifications and the degrees, at just absent of the educational experience, just as a thing that you have earned, it is something that gets looked at in the application review process in a lot of cases. Once you get through as a candidate, and I'm talking in general, this has been what my experience is. Once you get through as a candidate and you meet the people or the person that's interviewing you, the certification and credential no longer is really that valuable in that process, right? Now it's about what you know. So what I've realized is, and what's been revealed to me, is what's more important is what you know. Because once if you can just get to that conversation, you can just get to that hiring manager, you can just figure out how to reach them in creative ways, which I'll talk about how to do that, is once you get there, then it's your skill set that's on display and that's being showcased and going to be evaluated through questions. Sometimes I've had interviews where I've had to do a presentation. Sometimes I've had interviews where I had to demonstrate something. In each of my interviews, whether it was actual like being a practitioner in the field or being a teacher and presenter, trainer, it ultimately got to a point where like they were really looking at me, trying to figure out, do I know what I'm talking about? And the certification didn't matter. Like I've had some of the most, I will say the most talent. I can say this with 100% without doubt. I've had the most technical leaders that I've worked under in the field have all at one point in time said to me, just in conversation, I don't care about degrees and credentials. And that's like, it's inspiring, but it's also scary to me because I know so many people going for them. And so many companies are still using those as the like way to filter you. But I need you to understand your hands-on abilities is what you need to be prioritizing. So what does that mean overall as like a thing that I need you to focus on? Go for the credentials, certifications and degrees that you know without a question are emphasizing hands-on. This is why I'm such a Hack the Box fanboy. You know, I told y'all, like, I've worked there, I've built content, I helped build the path, the pen tester path for the CPTS certification. But when I saw, like, I was a fan before I ever worked there, right? And I don't work there right now, I work somewhere else. And, you know, I still am a huge fan and love Hack the Box because they care. Like, how do I know they care? Because their certifications, you have to earn them through hands-on assessment. You have to do hands-on stuff. Like if you read about the junior cybersecurity associate they just came out with, this the penetration testing specialist, bug bounty hunter, defensive security analyst, web exploitation expert, which is more advanced, Active Directory pen testing expert, which is more advanced. Each one of these is a hands-on assessment. It's a pen test engagement that you're on, or some kind of engagement that you're on, where you have to do like what we've been doing in some of these lessons. You have to hack the system, you have to get the flag, and then you have to write them up. And recently, this is why I'm talking about this and I'm excited about it, because I've been for years, and I will continue to advocate for beginners. Because right now it's the hardest, and what are we in, 2025, July 2025. This is the hardest time I've seen for beginners to try to break in. It used to be the case that like organizations would give beginners a chance just because they went and showed that they got a credential or went and showed that they had a home lab. But now it's like they want an experience in a way. And you're just like, dude, where are they going to get experience? Like, the answer I have a lot of times now for people is like, when you go to these colleges that you're, you know, like, don't just go there because they have a name. Go there and check their labs out. What do I mean by that? Like, who are the instructors? Like, when you talk to the instructors, do they seem like they care? Do they seem like they'll do like hands-on stuff? Do they seem like they can't wait to retire and they just hate teaching? They only do it because it gives you 3 months off in the summer. Trust me, I've worked with that mindset before. Not that I had it, but that people that I worked with had it. And I had to combat that because like my classes were awesome. I was building labs. I had a hands-on environment. And like, I feel like a lot of the schools are defrauding their students out of money because, especially universities, like, I'm sorry if you're working at a university and your students are paying 10 grand at least a year, they live there, it's a resort, you're standing up resort buildings with pools and basketball courts and tennis courts and pickleball, and it's like a resort. But you go in the lab and there's no computers in there, and this is IT, talking about computer science. We teach computer science. Bring your own laptop. That makes me mad. Like, I get mad at that now. I start feeling like Moses. I'm about to speak up against these pharaohs. Like, and I'm not even joking. Like, I know it's not to that extent, but still. So like, to see companies like Hack the Box bubble up and even partner with schools, and like, that's what I do too. I partner with these schools. Like, I am very critical of schools, but I still believe in that, the original vision for what education is supposed to be. But we got away from that somewhere. We got away from that. Like, it's like, now it's like, oh, get a master's, get a PhD. And it's like, no, what about like innovation and like preparing somebody with the skills that they need? And like, so as a lot of people see this now, and as a result, what you can see at like many of the deep tech companies is like, they don't really care about the cert. They'll say like, or the degrees, they'll say this degree or equivalent experience. That's your way in, but equivalent experience. But how do you demonstrate that without the actual skill set? And that's sort of why I'm like doing what I'm doing. And why I'm glad to like have y'all here is because like, this is sort of a message I'm trying to spread, is like, what are the new organizations out there in schools and people that are trying to help people really learn this stuff, right? And like one of them is Hack the Box, right? I do think Try Hack Me is pretty cool too, and I'm happy that that industry exists now. I'll say that. Like as someone who solely cares about people and learners and doesn't consider any of my professional affiliations, I'm going to say I love that this new, like, super accessible, pretty affordable industry has popped up. And that is like this new cybersecurity training industry that you can go in your browser now and start to build these skills. Like, so like to see that Hack the Box did the junior cybersecurity associate specifically targeted for beginners is like, I'm like, thank you. Praise God, because we need this. We need the Security Plus to get disrupted. I said it. I need the old guard certifications to be disrupted. I want them to feel a little bit worried about their market share, because what are they doing? They're just creating a multiple choice test. Like, come on now. Multiple choice? I'm about to rant. Y'all got me mad. I'm not saying y'all in the chat. Y'all as certification providers got me mad. You really went and made a multiple choice test. I could get on ChatGPT right now and ask it to make me a multiple choice test. For real? Look, and I'm being playful, but I'm talking to CompTIA. I'm talking to Cisco. I'm talking to all of them. Because I was blind, but now I can see that, like, right now, you could make a multiple choice test with ChatGPT in a couple seconds. Companies like CompTIA are going to turn around and they're going to charge $500 for the A+. $5? There's no labs in there. I know, okay, they're building in more simulated stuff, but like the simulations are not real. That's not a real switch or wireless router that you're configuring. There's considerations with that stuff outside of this. So to me, like, we got a problem. We got a problem in like the available resources to people. So in general with schools, I still think there's potential there. But when you look at a school and you're learning IT specifically, go visit, talk to instructors, look at the education, see where those students are going after they graduate. You know, ask around about these cert providers. You're looking to get the CJCA. This just came out. There may not be much market recognition, but what you will get with it is the Hack the Box name attached. And then where I'm trying to say is the big value here is like the skill set is clearly going to be hands-on. Like this side of Hack the Box is called Hack the Box Academy. It's got these modules. Let me open it up. That's not the right path. Where's the path? I'll go from the certification thing. So when you go to certification, learn more, and then related job role path. So it's showing like all the modules, and these are going to be hands-on. So like you're actually spinning up the VM, you're getting into it, you're doing hacking, you're developing a skill set. You're going to be able to put this on your personal blog. You're going to be able to put this on your personal blog and say, I completed these. You'll have like a transcript you can download and share, and like, you know, you can talk about this assessment. You know, the CPTS I know is getting more market traction as well, as showing up on job descriptions for pen tester roles. Security Plus is still like separate of any of the like my bias, because I do have biases based on my experience. And I've gotten the Security Plus, I've gotten the CEH, I have over 20 certifications, folks. And one thing that I can tell you, and I'm not saying that to brag, I'm just saying that, I guess to qualify the fact that I'm saying certs aren't everything, it's about the hands-on experience. So when you get the cert, like after I got my Security Plus, I felt good about it. I was like, darn, that was awesome. I'm glad I did it. I feel good. But it didn't really help me develop a skill set. It gave me knowledge. Like, I feel like these multiple choice test certs, they give you knowledge and familiarity with concepts and exposure to things you didn't know existed. But that's sort of the extent of it. Like, I'm not going to throw my Security Plus, I'm not going to throw any cert in somebody's face and be like, oh yeah, man, like, oh yeah, I'm a Security Plus, or I'm a CISSP, I'm a CISSP, dude. Like CISSP is a multiple choice test. Like, I don't know. To me, I'm laughing at that because it's not. You could even do better with those certs. Like, if you're going to make this a secure, if someone's going to build a certification that's supposed to, like, put a stamp on you as a professional that really understands what you're doing and has the lingo and knows the thing, and they put a stamp on you and they say, boom, you're ready for security now. You have competencies to do these jobs. And then you go out there and you don't have the knowledge. It didn't really, like, prepare you. Like, the experience, the process, the exam itself didn't really certify you in the way that I'm looking at it, right? Like, if I have my CISSP, technically that's supposed to put you in the category of a chief information security officer, right? But, like, that doesn't really confirm any of the abilities of a chief information security officer, right? Like, you know, you could make those exams more, they don't necessarily have to be like, I'm hacking into stuff, because that's not what the CISSP is about. But if it's an executive role, why not make it something that's like, I don't know, you got to present a security plan to a board, like a group that's gathered for your presentation, that, like, they're getting paid as a part of, like, the fees you pay for your certification testing and all that. Your end result deliverable is, like, you presented a security plan to the board on this, like, almost like I would say like a simulated scenario, but it would be in real life. The reason they would never do that is because of how much money you can make by just creating a multiple choice test. And I know that the multiple choice test, the process, they build advisory committees that inform what topics and stuff should be on there. But, like, it's still really not doing it. And I'm being critical because with the caveat that I do think certs can get you there faster than, like, a 4-year degree, for example. But because of where we have to acknowledge where we are today. Like, I'm thinking about the future and what it should be, but we're not there yet, right? Like, we're not in a place where every cert is a practical cert, which I think it should be. There's still an industry that's here, that's been established for a while, the old guard, that has a market position that's, like, not going to just change overnight. So, like, there may be, like, some check boxes you have to hit. Like, you may have to get Security Plus because it's on the list, because you're in the military and it's part of what DOD's directive, whatever the number is now. Like, you know, those certs get popular for a reason. It's not usually because they're just the greatest thing for your education. It's usually because it was positioned to be a gatekeeper to a position, right? Because of some kind of insurance stipulation or agreement somewhere, which is a smart way to get your credential on the market. I just wish more of those cert creators were trying to make the experience hands-on for their people. And the last Security Plus did have some hands-on, like, simulations. But again, I'm telling you, like, as a leading edge signal, this is the way to go next. This, like, in the browser stuff. SANS has some pretty good certs. SANS Institute, because there's a lot, like GCIH was a cool cert. I took that one because it had multiple choice, but it also had hands-on. So, like, with some of the questions I would do, it spawned up a VM, just like on Hack the Box, and I had to find like a very specific thing in the environment, and then find that thing I found in the list of multiple choice questions. There was others that I had to submit the answer in for it to do an answer check. So like I see the attempts to go that direction, and I hope, but the challenge that can happen with SANS is it's expensive. So when I see like, it's like stupid expensive. It's like organizations can afford it, not usually individuals. But they do have scholarships and stuff that you can go find. Like I think they have the Cyber Immersion Academy that I would recommend trying to go for. And by the way, I do think SANS is like world class. But like, I think Hack the Box is getting there. Like they're getting to the point where it's like, this is pretty good. I started using Hack the Box as curriculum at the last college I taught at, and the students liked it. They really did. Like my students, they still use Hack the Box. And like that's how many people go back to the textbooks they used in college. So there's something there about the way that this content's presented and delivered. So to see them doing certifications, I hope employers out there, you start putting Hack the Box certifications on your job descriptions as just ways to filter, not necessarily gatekeepers, because I still don't think you should gatekeep positions based on certs. But in the chat, somebody asked me about the OSCP. Again, I'm glad the OSCP exists. OffSec walked, OffSec crawled so that a lot of these companies could run. A lot of these companies formed because people took the OSCP and they were like, I think we can do something of the same caliber or better. But like it's still better than just multiple choice, right? Because it's hands-on and you're hacking an environment. I don't agree with what the OSCP is doing with, right, exactly. I don't agree with what OffSec's doing with how they restrict their exam. The last time I checked, they like have rules on automations that you can use, and it's heavily proctored. And well, I get the concept of proctoring. It's like, I don't think it's worth it to like really watch somebody and like make sure they're doing it this way and disqualify them. And I don't think I know it's trying to avoid like cheating or the test leaking and things like that, but like, I don't know, the real world isn't really proctored like that. You know what I mean? It's not proctored like that. So like, I'm in favor of educational experiences that are closest to the real world. So like for me, OSCP, it's better than a multiple choice exam. But there are some things about OffSec that I don't agree with. One being the rules they impose on their certs. They don't let you, use some automations that you would use in real life. They also charge way too much. Like when I think about beginners, and I'm saying this as somebody that doesn't own the company, and like they're not like, I'm not trying to keep a company afloat and people employed. So I get like, you got to make money for your company to grow and to keep people fed and lights on. But I just feel like if you look at how much the OSCP is costing right now, it's just like it's not in people's like budget to pay for that. Like it's like over $1,000, I think. And that's like, what are we doing here, people? Like, why? And, so that's like, that automatically like would disqualify them in my mind from being somebody I recommend a beginner go to. But you could counter my argument with like, well, it's cheaper than school, because any new education company that comes up, they're going to like try to compete with colleges in a way, or compete with the college in quality, but still try to partner with the college so that the colleges will use budget to pay for the program so that they can and then they'll offload the cost on students somehow via financial aid, which ultimately comes from the government, right? Okay. But it's expensive but it is still like a respected cert. It's a respected cert. I think that they're catching up in what they offer in their cert and their educational experience because, I mean, they only recently added Active Directory, like in the last couple of years, which for a decade they didn't have Active Directory on there. And you're just like, dude, Active Directory is like 90% of enterprises. So like, education in general needs to be disrupted. So seeing these new organizations rise up to become more like competitive, but also like now they're in the mix of like hiring managers conversations about how do we know if somebody is ready, and you got like people talking about hack the box experience. Like I've seen on job positions and job descriptions, people asking they mention like, nice to haves and like as bullet points, like does CTFs and, hacking competitions and hack the box in their free time, right? Like I know like hack the box on their site, they have a careers section where you can go and like look. It's like a job board. Here, look. It's a job board where you can use your Hack the Box profile to apply for jobs. And this is not just in the US, but like globally, which is like really cool, right? I think it's cool that they do this. Like this makes sense to like bring the jobs close to the like experience that you're having. So like this is, I mean, it's going to take, I think a lot of these certs will take a little while to like stick as like measurements for hiring just because of awareness, because Securities Plus has been around for so long, there's an awareness issue. But I'm trying to help with that because right now, if you're a beginner, you're most likely you're gonna come in and you're gonna follow the pre-established paths that have been there until you can see, and like as an educator that does care about people, like I'm not just coming for like people's pockets. Like I'm really trying to like help guide you on this. And there's people in the community that are going to help you. So in these streams and these videos, comment, like realize this isn't just like content to be consumed. I'm actually here, right? Like sometimes it feels like you're watching cartoon characters or like famous people when you watch YouTube or whatever. It's just like, no, I'm here. Like I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help you get in. Like I'm trying to create resources myself to put out there to help. And that part of that is these videos, that you follow along, and these streams. I like the stream format because it's a little bit more organic. I don't have to strictly plan it out as much as like if I was trying to just do a video. So you'll catch me basically live recording my YouTube videos on Twitch, and then just enjoying y'all's presence here.